I'd like to talk to you for a minute about Jesus.
People really believe in God in this country. We're a God-fearing country.
I'm telling you that that's the only righteous message for this evil nation that is on the way of the Brokeback Mountain.
Well, isn't that special?
What's happening here? Why is the gospel of love dividing America?
Thousands of teenagers are gathering tonight for a Christian rally in San Francisco.
Battle Cry's mission is to empower America's youth to fight the culture wars and take back their generation.
And some of them were met today by scores of protesters telling them to go home.
So on the steps of City Hall, you had Christian folks, and on the other side, you had more colorful figures from the left.
This is Sister Mary Timothy, a member of the Benevolent Order of the Sisters of Perpetual Indulgence. I'll let you guess which side of the barricade the sister was on.
Because it was a group of Christians coming to the city which felt like condemning us. And when we got there, that's what it felt like.
Now, it seems to me this separateness isn't getting any of us anywhere. So I set out across a nation divided to have a conversation with anybody willing to have one. Name something that Jesus Christ is known for.
Love.
Forgiveness.
Loving the poor.
Caring for the least of people.
But what impression does America have of Christians?
Forgiveness.
Fanaticism?
Theatrics.
Probably Jesus Christ.
Well, there are some Christians who felt Hurricane Katrina was an act of God, an act of vengeance upon the sin-loving gamblers and gays along the Gulf Coast and those who tolerated them. But the act of God was in the recovery.
You see just van after van after van, a Baptist church from Georgia or a Methodist church from Illinois.
One of us threw out, I remember who it was, the idea, well, we should do a confession booth. We won't ask them to confess to us, we'll confess to them.
We rented a space at Portland's waterfront park. There we would invite people, probably mostly gay people, into the confessional booth to hear my confession.
Have you heard, so you've experienced personally what I'm talking about?
Sure, I'm going to burn in hell for all eternity, is what I've been told, so.
I gotta tell you, I was completely surprised by two things: the power of an apology and the willingness of people to engage. Every Friday night in Portland, under the Burnside Bridge in Old Town, Christians flood in from all over the state to meet the basic needs of the city's homeless.
Tonight we have about 70 volunteers from about 10 to 14 different churches.
It's one thing to stand in church mumbling the words to an old hymn, and it's another entirely to get down on your knees and wash the feet of a homeless person.
I learned last week and I did a couple, and it's just, people just love it. I myself was homeless for the last 4 years, and more than food and everything, people crave hugs and touch. And the hardest part for me washing feet is that we have to use gloves, and especially people already when we're on the street, you feel like you're dirty and nobody wants to touch you.
It really feels good to have your feet washed, massaged, and clean socks.
If we followers of Jesus believe what we say we believe, this is a place where we get to prove it.
If you want to talk about what is the best face of religion, the face of religion that is not divisive, but that brings people together and lifts us up, that's it.
When I was in high school, there was this boy named Roger, and he was outed, a gay kid, and his homosexual orientation became known. West Philadelphia High was a huge and tough inner-city school. You can imagine what we did to this kid some 50 years ago when ignorance prevailed on this issue. We humiliated this kid at every turn. On Fridays, after phys ed, when all the other kids would go into the shower, Roger wouldn't go in with us. He was afraid to. When he took his turn, we waited for him with our wet towels, and when he came out, we would whip them and sting his little body. I wasn't there the day that they took Roger and dragged him into that shower room and shoved him into the corner. And while he yelled and screamed for mercy, 5 guys urinated all over him. I wasn't there when that happened. He went home. He went to bed at about 10 o'clock. They say it was about 2 o'clock in the morning that Roger went down to the basement of his house and he hung himself. And I knew I wasn't a Christian. Because if I was a Christian, I would have been Roger's friend. You don't have to legitimate somebody's lifestyle in order to love that person, to be brother or sister to that person, and to stand up for that person.
If we love somebody, we go out of our way to learn the best of who they are.